Hey, everybody. Really excited to speak with Beranger this week, who just broke into Broadcom as an account executive. Also, we have worked together from your time as an account executive at another company. And I think a really cool starting point for this conversation, too, would be to set the stage of how you even broke into tech sales in the first place. Maybe just as a starting point, how did you even get into tech sales, and where were you kind of leading up to when we met through the Higher Levels platform?
Hey, Eric. Thank you so much for having me today. Really appreciate this this time to connect and share a bit more about me and my story. So I broke into tech sales almost 2 years ago now. I started by doing an online course called CourseCareers, where I learned everything about being an SDR and really learning the ropes about sales development. And at the same time, I was also doing a boot camp here in the UK called Iconoclass. So I was doing two of those platforms at the same time. I was really hustling my way, working a side hustle jobs in a supermarket, out of all places, to be able to pay for those courses. And in a few months, I managed to get into tech sales as an SDR, working for a startup. I did very well, got promoted as an AE. That's when I joined Higher Levels, because actually, to go back to the origin of the story, me and my wife, we were binge watching your YouTube videos maybe 2 years ago, and that's when we decided even to do the tech sales career development. So yeah, it all started with you, in all honesty. It all started with you, Eric. I'm still watching your channel, actually. And it was like a full circle moment when I got promoted as an AE, and I was like, okay, what should I do now in terms of my own development? Because I truly do believe I'm always trying to equip myself with the best development, personal development, and coaching, enablement, those type of things. So I was looking at my options, and I went back to you. So that was a full circle moment. Joined the platform, did very well as an AE, and then we did the work that we did to join Broadcom and VMware.
Yeah, it's awesome. And maybe I'd love to get your perspective on, I know one of the things we talked about is, that there may or may not have been a ton of enablement at your first position where you were promoted to AE. So, leaving AE Mastery and the Higher Levels platform aside, where did you, in your role as an account executive, feel like you didn't have the things you needed to succeed? What were some of those gaps that you had on your own?
Yes, so I would say everything. Literally everything that I didn't have when I got promoted as an AE. For example, account prioritization, or I was very big on this. How do I prioritize my accounts as an AE? So when I joined the platform, one of the first calls that I went through again and again was how to prioritize my accounts. For me, that was very key. I wanted to know also how to ramp in the beginning, how to conduct a discovery call. That was very, very important for me as well. So those two things, I would say, account prioritization, discovery call expertise or mastery, were very, very paramount for me. And I've learned a lot with the courses. Everything on there is very good, I would say.
And maybe I'd be curious too, you mentioned you had 2 different programs to help you break into the first place. How is that experience with Higher Levels and AE Mastery compared to your experience with other programs as well?
Yes, to be completely honest, it's hard to compare. I love them both. I would say, but AE Mastery or Higher Levels really took me to where I want to be in tech sales, right? When I became an SDR and I was working in tech sales as an SDR for a startup company here in London, I felt a great sense of accomplishment. But what I've just achieved with you is really taking me over the finish line, and it's even in my wildest dreams, I would have never imagined reach that level. So yes, to say that I'm very, very elated and the moon, just so happy to have chosen higher levels, and you, Eric, as well, because the amount of expertise you've given me and sharing, your experience with me, the time you've given me as well was incredible. So yeah,
Yeah.
for me, it really comes down to this: surround myself with the best in the game to be able to follow in their footsteps and accomplish or achieve what they have done before me. It's really that simple. I don't believe I can reinvent the wheel. Success is just finding the right people and following what they're asking me to do. So in your case, Eric, you've really told me everything I needed to do, and today here I am at one of the biggest IT company in the world. So it's really
Yeah.
incredible. I still can't believe it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. I mean, you put in a ton of work too. I don't want to gloss over that. Like, just for everyone's reference, and I think where I'd love to transition this conversation a little bit to give back to the community is you were basically an account executive. You got approached about an opportunity at Broadcom, and I know they have a very rigid training. They have a very set way of doing things, and kind of gave you a lot of information for a discovery role play interview, which you didn't have that much experience with. Maybe just one or two questions about that interview experience. Coming into that, where do you feel like, what are some of the biggest things that you learned and you were equipped with through the Higher Levels platform to ultimately succeed and get the offer from Broadcom?
Yes, that's a good question. I think I would say for me it was really getting with you on those practice calls that we did, uh, being able to just role play. You allow me to role play. You allow me to be myself on the calls. You gave me a lot of feedback that I really took on firsthand. I implemented the feedback. I would say it's really just practicing. It comes down to practicing because uh, theory is only good to a certain point, to a certain level. But yeah, really practice and being able to write down everything. You shared recordings with me that I really listened again and again. That really helps me. And I took a lot of notes. I remember now, I took a lot of notes from what you were saying. I try even to memorize some of the lines you were using because I thought those are very good lines. I asked you about your communication styles. I really try to maintain and learn from everything you were saying. So literally try to take in as much as I can. But I would say practicing, exchanging the roles as well, because you remember we did a role play where you were the interviewee and I was the interviewer. So that really helped me to put things into perspective. Yeah, and just we've done it. We've done it, I think, 4 times, and that's what comes down to. It comes down to really repetition and believing in yourself. I think out of this experience at Broadcom, what really stood out is the emphasis on mindset and who are you as a person as well. It's not really much the technicalities of the discovery because they know that someone who has no experience, but they wanted to see, okay, so what does this person can add to the table, and in terms of personality and maybe emotional intelligence, those kind of things, right? So that's really also plays on a big role for the success of the overall interview.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And maybe, a common thing that we see, certainly anyone that joins the AE Mastery program is trying to get better as an account executive. But I would say we are seeing a pretty common trend of people in your situation where they're maybe at a small startup and certainly trying to improve and win more there, but also maybe positioning themselves to break into a bigger company. maybe two questions in closing. The first being, like, what were some of the biggest differences that you had to adjust to being in this startup environment and then interviewing at quite literally one of the biggest companies in the world?
That's a great question. To be honest, I would say surrounding myself with the right people. That's what's been the X factor to breaking into this type of company. Surrounding myself with, people like you, but not just you, because also in the UK, I'm networking all the time with other account executives who are well versed, or who have a career already in tech sales for many years, right? And I'm always trying to connect with them, to just discuss things about them, interviews, see how to have a great CVs, those kind of things. So I think I would say it's an accumulation of things that lead me to today being where I am today. It didn't just happen like this, right? I didn't just wake up and I'm in Broadcom. I think I've started over exactly to be. Actually, that's very interesting. I started exactly in January 2024. I was already an SDR. I was still an SDR, and then I promoted. I was at the same company, but I knew that I wanted something bigger. I wanted more enablement. I wanted more structure. I wanted a manager that looks after me. So I wanted all of those things: more money, more prestige, more status, etc. So I started the journey a year ago, and I've kept interviewing as well, right? I kept being rejected. I kept applying. I kept doing a lot of things, but I never lost the faith, and I knew that by following the people that I believe in, like you and others, and always, applying everything that they're telling me to do, I would end up one day where I want to end up. So, yes, I don't know if I answer your question. I think I went on a tangent here, but
No, it's all good. I think it highlights too, like, yeah, of course, there's extensive coursework and things you can always learn, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's in the Higher Levels platform. But I totally agree. I think putting yourself around other like-minded top performers and people who are on that journey really helps. Again, whether it's in a community, I think it's why we put so much emphasis on live coaching as well. We're never ones to just say, here's some videos, good luck. But yeah, again, it takes someone to actually take that and utilize it to the fullest. And I think even putting yourself in that position where, whether it's a rep at a startup, you kind of get an insight into what that world is like, or someone who's at a huge established company. There are a lot of differences and things that you can learn that aren't just, academic material as well. So really well said. And I guess maybe in closing, if there's any other advice you have for account executives out there, people considering the Higher Levels platform, if there's anything you would redo or do differently when you were younger, I'd definitely be open to it.
Yeah, any advice, I would say, believe in yourself. Always believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, because frankly, it's not always what we think. Those companies they are just right there. They are there for the taking. If I can do it, then that means anybody can do it. I was working at a supermarket, like I told you, when I did the SDR thing. I come from very humble beginnings, really worked my way through this in less than 2 years. So it's just a matter of believing in yourself and believing also what's out there for you. I didn't know it would be VMware by Broadcom. I didn't know all of this. I just knew it would be a great company that aligns with me, because the universe has a way of working things for each one of us. But just believe and invest in yourself. I think that's the main thing. Even to this day, I just made it, but I'm already thinking, what can I do? How can I invest in myself to take me to the next level, right? The next level is enterprise account executive. I want to already hit the ground running. I want to be the top performer, so I'm already thinking, even after this, maybe we can have a talk, Eric, and you can help me with that. I'm already thinking, how can I invest in myself to get me to the next level? Because the end goal is always moving, right? The finish line is always moving. So it's just the beginning for me. The job needs to be done, but yeah, investing in yourself is the main thing. Choosing the right people with integrity, like you and Chris at Higher Levels and the others. You will never regret investing in the guys who have done it, been there, done it. And thank you so much again for doing this on the first try. You know, that company was the only company in my pipeline because I was just made redundant and I didn't really know how I was going to do it. So on the first try, we did it, literally on the first try. So that's been exceptional.
No, it's awesome, man. But again, you know, credit to you. At the end of the day, we can kind of give you some of the tools and the things to help, but you have to execute not only in preparation, but also in the moment. So awesome result, and congrats again, Beranger. Really great conversation. Lots of great nuggets here. And yeah, I'll link your LinkedIn if you're cool with it down below. If you have a well thought out question, feel free to reach out to Beranger. But if you're going to ask a boring question like, hey, how do I break into Broadcom with no other thought? He's not obligated to respond. So I'm going to throw that out there because I know more and more people are hitting up our guests. But yeah, congrats again, Beranger. Really appreciate the time. And yeah, excited to see where the future takes you.
Thank you so much. I'm incredibly grateful for your support, Eric. I will never stop telling you this. I even want to send you maybe a couple of gifts that I have in mind because you literally, you know, did something incredible for me and my family. You know, I can feel that our life has changed, you know, literally. So I'm so grateful.
Okay. Well, thanks, man. And yeah, I think a good place to call it, but yeah, I'm sure we'll be in touch here soon on future live calls. So thanks again.
Thank you.